Whatever information the breath is providing to you, I'm going to recommend that you treat that information with respect. Because there's nothing that would come from your body in the form of a sensation or biofeedback that is trying to be unkind to you. So whatever information you're getting, let's treat it with respect. And you can join your hands together at your heart. And we'll chant the Gayatri mantra together. Om Bhurvasvaha Tatsavitor Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayata. Om Bhurvasvaha Tatsavitor Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayata. Om Bhurvasvaha Tatsavitor Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayata. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Guru Pyo Namaha. Hari Om. With your exhale, you may bow your head to your heart. Release your hands down over your knees. You can keep the eyes closed. Come into the Ujjayi sound again. So there's a feeling tone in the inner body. And the breath, like that inner GPS, let it bring you down to the pelvic floor and then up the front line of the spine. And as the inhale rises, raise your heart, open your throat, lift your gaze. And exhale, gaze right and down. Inhale, go right and up. Exhale, left and down. Inhale, rise up to the left and center. Exhale, bring your chin down and start to roll into a cat pose spine. And then inhale, roll forward and up. Press your hands against your knees and arc into a seated back bend. And exhale, curl down again like a cat pose spine. And then once more, go up on the inhale, little seated back bend. Lean back into the back bend as appropriate for yourself. And then exhale, curl your chin down. And roll to your simple seat, Siddhasana. Interlace your fingers. Take the heels of the hands straight down. Inhale, rise up and look up, please. Exhale, gaze down. Keep pressing up. Lift from the back of your waist to the backs of the fingers. Inhale, gaze up. Exhale, squeeze your hands down behind your head. Place the pinkies at the base of the skull. And inhale, twist to your right. Bring the left elbow forward, the right elbow up. And exhale, side bend to your left. Take the left arm down against your lap. Inhale, reach through your right arm. Exhale, place your hand again at the base of your skull. And then inhale, rise up to your twist to your right. Exhale to center, elbows wide, gaze down. Then inhale, twist to your left. Bring the left elbow up, right elbow forward. Exhale, side bend to your right. Inhale, reach through your left arm. Exhale, place your hand again for support at the base of the skull. And inhale, rise up to the twist, fingers clasped once more. Exhale, come back to center, elbows wide. Inhale, look up and press up. And exhale, press out. Bring your hands to your knees. So I said this last week that the fifth chakra and the second chakra share a special connection. We also can imagine a connection from the third chakra, your sense of your purpose, your dharma, your contribution, and the sixth chakra, your sense of clear vision. So here, moving the throat, we're working through the fifth chakra. Let's come down now into the second chakra. And I'm going to ask us to sit in virasana. So if you have 2 blankets, as I do right now, one thing you could do is turn the blankets to go lengthwise on your mat. So you're going to sit on the very front edge of the blankets. And when you place the blankets like this, my recommendation to use them is also because we're going to do an unusual twist. We haven't done it in the sequence just yet. So sitting to start like this is to give you the seat you'll need for the next thing as well. Okay, so coming down to the second chakra, this is with Bhastrika and then Kapalabhati. So you can rest your hands in your lap, bring your attention right down to the belly. Exhale. Inhale through the nose, up to suspension. Exhale slowly and completely, noticing the tone in the deep belly as you go through the exhale. The Jalandhara Bandha is at the fifth chakra, and Uddiyana Bandha is at the second chakra. Mula Bandha is at the first. So in that breath suspension, you may feel the connection even more intimately. Now we'll do Bhastrika a second time, a little bit faster. This time with the inhale suspension. When we exhale, we'll be blowing out through a teeny tiny straw in the lips. To make that a longer, slower exhale, you'll sense the deep belly a little bit more. Okay, so Bhastrika. Again. Inhale to suspension. Making a tiny opening in the lips. Exhale completely. And then again, deeply relax. Hi. Okay, place your hands on your shoulders, please. Kapalabhati. We're going side to side. Exhale completely, come to the center. And then inhale again up to suspension. Make a tiny opening in the lips and exhale completely. And then deeply relax. And now Kapalabhati without rotations. This one with the inhale suspension. When we go to the exhale, we'll be using Nadi Shodhana. We'll go side to side. Let's begin. Exhale completely. Inhale up to suspension. Close the right and exhale left. Inhale left. Suspend. Close the left, exhale right. Inhale right. Suspend. Exhale left. And then deeply relax. Sometimes even from just a couple of breath cycles in Nadi Shodhana, you can sense this quiet place at the sixth chakra, the place between the eyebrows. Okay, now you're sitting in virasana on a couple of blankets. I'm going to ask you to lean into your left hip and step the right foot forward like this. And then take the right foot down like you're doing pigeon pose. So when you're sitting on the blankets right now behind you, you probably feel your right sitting bone on the blankets more than your left. You can make the hips a little bit level, but it is appropriate that your right hip is more supported than your left hip right now. So this is called the Z formation, like the letter Z. I didn't name it. I'm going to ask you to walk forward. So a little bit like pigeon pose, keep the right hip drawn back and down to the blanket. And then walk a little bit to your right. So the fingers come out. Draw the left hip back towards the blanket so the left side waist is open. The right side waist is shorter. And then walk again to your right. And as you walk the left fingertips out, draw the left hip back. And then walk once more to your right and try to go now directly to the right. So from your right hip out on this line, you can keep the legs in the Z position as they are right now. But walk out with the left fingertips, draw the right hip down and the left hip back. You make the right palm flat against the floor for support. Raise your left arm and side bend to your right. Now, as you're side bending here, this is very similar to yesterday's practice, but I'm going to ask you to start sliding your left knee back on the floor. So when I slid my left leg back there, the left leg is not now in virasana. You can open the foot a little bit away from the hip if you like, but slide the left knee back. So you're really now moving the left hip, guide it slightly forward. The left hip flexors are hopefully speaking to you a little bit. Start to open your upper back, your chest, and your heart. If your head feels comfortable with it, you can open the throat. Now, to the extent that it's comfortable for you, sweep your left arm wide and gaze towards your left knee. Make a big circle and then bring yourself back up to the Z formation. So you can tuck your left leg back into virasana, the right shin like this, and just pause to feel what's happened. And then come forward and shift your legs to the other side. So you just, like breakdancing, you just switch them. So now you've got your Z formation going the other way. Okay, and walk forward to start. Draw the hips back, especially the right hip back. Reach it towards the blanket. Walk a little bit to your left. Reach the right hip back towards its blanket. So the right side waist is long, the left side waist is shorter. And then walking again to your left. And again to the left, this time more directly out to the left. So you're in this line from your hips towards your fingertips. Draw the right hip back. You can bow the head here initially. And then make the left palm flat against the floor. Press firmly into your left arm. Begin to raise the right arm up. Start rotating. So there's a little twist to your right and a side bend to your left. Now from where you are, at any amount that you want to slide your right shin and thigh back. Hello to your right hip flexors. And as you press the right butt forward, so your hip flexors are opening, begin to look up, and any amount that your neck and head are comfortable with it, you can let the head come slightly back. And make a big circle with your right arm. Begin gazing towards your right knee, so it's a full circle with the head as well. Glide through and rise back up to your Z formation. So you're sitting in this funny little configuration like this. And then scoot forward and sit once again in virasana, like this. So we're churning the inner belly there, and the side bending is actually, it's on purpose to have the ascending and the descending colon, getting those squeezes also. As we've been talking about this week, this sort of repository of the unmet needs which generate these strategies. We have to have a strategy somehow to get by when our needs aren't being met. And I've been talking this week in my Hunger, Hope, and Healing program about how sometimes those strategies become runaway strategies. We didn't expect it to take over. We didn't expect it to become something problematic because at first it was something that was helpful. So down here in the landscape of the unmet needs, let's have a sense, as I said last night in the Dharma time for the teachers, a sense of like, hi there. Okay, how can I help? How can I better understand what's going on here in this part of your intrapsychic life, which is also your interpersonal life getting expressed from within here. Okay, so keeping these blankets but setting them aside, we're going to come up to standing. We will revisit part of that sequence that you just had there, but please rise up to stand and come into uttanasana with your feet as wide as the yoga mat and the knees a little bit bent. So when you come down, the knees a little bit bent, line your knees up with your toes and try to sense here the shape of the pelvis, the lumbar spine, your low abdomen, mid abdomen, the kidneys, the upper belly. Press the knees out to be lined up with the toes. Put your body weight more in your heels than your toes. And bend the knees so that you can now easily reach your left hand to hold your right ankle and your right hand to your right knee. Add a little twist of the inner belly to the right. Now, as you've added this little bit of a twist, try turning the deep low belly to your right, especially during the exhale. Think of it like wringing out a sponge or a dishcloth. And then exhale. Release to the center. Hold your right hand over to your left ankle. Place your left hand on your left knee. And swish the inner belly to your left. Keep the right knee lined up with the toes. So when you're swishing the inner belly to your left, like the right outer belly is gliding across towards your belly button to the left, left inner belly to the left, like it's a whole circle. And then exhale, release from there. Place both hands on your hips and please rise up to standing, root down to rise up. And let's go heel toe until you're in mountain pose. And this is the first time you're standing upright, so you can think of that like a developmental moment, right? Because we talked about the developmental cross crawl patterns a couple weeks ago and earlier this week. And then in our development, we come upright, we can stand. Let's take it to surya namaskar, and we're going to be exploring a couple things from this week so we can bring them all together. So place your blocks at the front of your mat, about wider than your hips, near to where your feet are going to be. Join your palms together at your heart. The swishing of the belly now. So with your ujjayi breath, inhale the hands down, turn your palms out, rise up. Make the hands like an arrow and exhale, side bend to your right, to your right. Inhale, rise up to center, hook the thumbs so the hands are like an arrow. Exhale, side bend to your left. Inhale, rise up and look up. And exhale, sit down to chair pose. You can separate the hands to be shoulder width apart. Inhale, rise up, look up beyond your fingertips. Exhale, uttanasana. Inhale, glide forward through your heart. Exhale, take the left toes straight back, touch your left knee down to the floor. This is Anjaneyasana. Inhale to rise. Make the hands like an arrow, one thumb behind the other. And exhale, a wide circle of the arms. Go ahead and touch the blocks lightly. Inhale, straighten both legs, glide back, pick up the toes of your right foot. Yeah, there you go. Then exhale, glide forward to the base lunge, just the basic lunge. And inhale, rise up again. The hands like an arrow, hook one thumb behind the other. And then exhale, glide the arms wide, come forward and touch the blocks now firmly. Inhale to plank pose. Exhale, downward facing dog pose. Inhale, raise your left leg high behind you. Exhale, left foot forward, right knee down to the base of Anjaneyasana. And inhale, rise up. Hook your thumbs, make an arrow. Open the deep low belly and the throat. And then exhale, arms wide, touch the blocks lightly. Inhale, straighten both legs, pick up the toes of your left foot. And exhale, deeply bend your left knee into the basic lunge. Press into your left heel and rise up crescent, hooking the thumbs again. And then exhale, arms wide, keep the back leg really strong, even tone the right butt as you touch now firmly. Inhale to plank. Exhale, downward facing dog, keeping the left foot grounded. Inhale, raise your right leg high. And exhale, step your right foot forward and then your left foot forward. Inhale, rise up, Urdhva Hastasana. Hook the thumbs again. Exhale, side bend to your right. Inhale, rise. Side bend left. Rising. Exhale, arms wide, and bring your hands together at your heart. Now we're going to include triangle pose. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, straight away, Uttanasana. Inhale, glide forward. Left toes back and left knee down. Okay, Anjaneyasana. Inhale. Exhale, touching the blocks lightly. Inhale, straighten both legs. Lift up the toes of your right foot. Walk the block under your right hand slightly back. And then as you exhale, root your front foot and your back heel. Now glide your left arm forward past your left ear and turn into trikonasana, the triangle pose. And like this week, I do want you to make it a side bend. So press firmly into your right arm and side bend the left side waist to be more expansive. Press from your left outer hip into your left outer heel. And sense almost like when you're side bending, as if you had a t-shirt tucked into your waistband, and you're going to pull it out on the left side. Now inhale, raise your left arm up to the sky, look up, and any amount that your body wants to, you can come into a little back bend right here. So the left arm, as it glides back, you can open your chest, your heart, your throat. And then exhale and swing the left arm forward and down, touching the block. Bend your right knee, please. Inhale, step backwards to plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Now keeping the right foot grounded, inhale, raise your left leg high. And exhale, left foot forward. Left foot forward, right knee down, Inhale, Anjaneyasana. Make an arrow of the hands and your thumbs. And exhale, arms wide. Touch the blocks lightly at your own timing, of course. Inhale, straighten both legs. Pick up the toes of your left foot. Walk the block under the left hand back. And as you exhale, press into both feet. Pivot the right heel down. Let's glide the right arm forward, opening. So you have the pelvis, the deep inner belly, mid belly, upper belly. Make the side bend so the left side is getting squished and the right side is becoming expansive. Imagine you're taking the t-shirt out of the waistband on your right side. To keep the right outer hip and outer heel steady, you can firm the action by including the back of your right hip, the right butt muscles, outer right hip muscles, right hamstrings and quads, the toes of your right foot. And then start raising your right arm up towards the ceiling and gaze up any amount that your body would like to. You can explore a little back bend feeling. And then sweep your right arm past your right ear. Bring it down to the block. Let's put both blocks where they need to be. So as you bend your left leg, you can step into plank pose. And then downward facing dog pose. Keeping the left leg steady, raise your right leg high. And then exhale, right foot forward, left foot forward, uttanasana. And inhale, rise up, urdhva hastasana. And hands to the heart, Anjali Mudra. Okay, now let's clear the space a little bit that you're working with. So you won't need your blocks. You could move the blankets a little bit out of the way so they're not going to be a hindrance. And come to the back of your mat like we did yesterday for the wide stance. We're going to combine a couple of things here too. I have a couple restless, I have one restless kitten and one resting kitten, but he's on alert for what she's up to. So am I. Okay, so come down to prasarita padottanasana. Press the top of your thighs back. Walk the hands forward. Now this is from yesterday's practice, and we're going to add that Z twist thing that we were just doing. So with your feet parallel at the moment, glide both hips to your left. So the right inner thigh is going to feel longer than the left inner thigh. And then turn your right heel in to the center of the mat. So pick up the right heel, rotate. That changes the angle of the legs. It's okay if you feel the urge to slide the left heel out, go ahead and do that. Now bring your body weight forward. You're going to be on the left hand, pick up the right foot and bring it, left foot and bring it over next to the right foot and sit down. Here's a twist. So cross your right arm to the outside of your left knee, roll the left shoulder back. As you're twisting your knees to the right, try letting the head be heavy to the left. Roll the left shoulder back so you're opening the left upper chest as well. It's okay if the knees tip to the right to make the twist of the lower body. And then raise the knees up. Now touch the right knee down and take the left leg back to that Z formation. Sweep your left arm past your left ear, and this time come down to your, right arm past your right ear. Come down to your left elbow. Press the right butt forward into the right hip flexors. And as you're side bending over the left side, it is shorter on the left, more open on the right. Press into your left palm, raise your left elbow. Bring your right knee back to meet your left knee. Roll the knees up to where the twist was. Now we're going to go back to prasarita padottanasana. So to do that, press down into both feet, raise your hips, put your right palm, step your left foot back, and you've come back to the beginning. If this feels a little bit like a game of Twister, you can enjoy the feeling of childhood. Okay, so swish both hips to your right. The left inner thigh is going to feel longer. Pick up the left heel and slide it in. You may feel like moving the right heel slightly out to the side. That's okay. Bring your body weight forward into your right arm. Step the left foot under and sit down, coming into a twist. Bring your left arm across to the outside of your right thigh. Roll the right shoulder back securely. As you're tipping your knees to the left, consider letting the head be heavy to the right. You can press into the right arm even as the knees are going to the left. It's possible that your right hip is very light on the floor right now. That's okay. And start rolling your outer right thigh down to the floor. So bring both knees down to the right and then glide the left leg back behind you. And as you side bend to your right, place the right elbow down. So one of the important sort of joys here is pressing the left hip forward into its the front of the thigh. So you're going to open the left hip flexors. You can open this also a little bit like a back bend. And then roll this one down. So you're going to start bringing your left arm forward, press into your right hand, lift the elbow, swing your left knee around to meet your right knee, and then bring your knees back up to the twist. Press firmly into your right hand. You're going to be going back to prasarita. So if you pick up both hips, bring the left palm forward, step your right foot back, and there you are back to the beginning. You bring your body weight forward, step your feet in, come to vajrasana, up to kneeling, and rest, taking notice. Now I'm going to give you two nuances in that practice that you can make a little bit deeper spot in a couple of junctures. When you're in the twisting pose, when you have your knees bent like this, And you've got one hand behind. We are tipping the knees sideways. If you like, you can hold on to the outside of the shin like this, so that when you're taking the head back, you really feel like you've got this traction, because this is my left shin, this is my right hand. And as the left shin presses forward, it does cause a movement for the left shoulder, right shoulder in my case, sorry. It's hard when you do lefts and rights for 25, 30 years and then you're on Zoom. So that little movement there is one that I want you to get. And the other one, when we come down into this, so you're on the forearm here and you're moving like this, it's actually possible to pick up the hip. So neither hips are touching the floor right now. And that little lift of the pelvis up off the floor is going to give you access into the iliacus and the psoas. It also requires strength at the opposite hip and the outer hip muscles that we talk so much about out through here. Okay, so let's, oh, hi. Thank you for coming back. How are your explorations going? Oh, that's my water glass. Oh no, that's for me. That one's not yours. No, sorry. No. Yeah, we're gonna do it again, the sequence. We're gonna repeat it. Yeah. You can be here if you want to be. Sure thing. Okay, so let's come to prasarita padottanasana. Let's see what I can do actually. There we go. Okay, so place your hands, press firmly into your palms. Take a little bit wider stance this time. It'll build the adventure. With your inhale, swish your hips to the left. Exhale, turn the right heel in. Bring your body weight forward into your left arm. Step your left knee across to meet your right. So you're coming down to sit in this twist. Hook the outside of your right arm and then your right hand to the outside of your left shin. Twist the knees to your right, your left shoulder back to the left, and let yourself play with the head position. Be thoughtful, but also give yourself a chance to explore. We'll roll the knees to the right, the left shoulder goes back, and the left hand can be firmly supporting you on the floor. Now start to roll your knees to the left until the left outer hip and thigh come down. Swing the right shin and thigh back. Come down to your left elbow. Raise your right arm overhead. If you want to, pick up the hips off the floor so your left arm is strong, the left outer hip is steady. Press your right butt forward into your right hip flexors. Open to a little back bend. And then exhale, place your left hip down, make a circle of this, press into your left palm, rise up to your seat, right knee to the left, both knees up to the right, press into your left hand, raise your hips. If you like, you can make this into a little back bend as well. And then go thoughtfully over your left shoulder. Look down. That's where your palm goes. Step the left foot back. Prasarita padottanasana. Swish your hips to the right. Turn your left heel in. Come forward so your body weight's in your right arm. Step your right foot over to meet your left foot and come down to sit your hips into the twist. Hook the outside of your left arm, and maybe you'll hold the front of your left shin. The front of your right shin with your left hand. Roll the right shoulder back. Glide your knees to the left. Let yourself explore with your head and your neck. And then begin taking the knees up and down to the right. Lower to your right forearm, swish the left leg back, left arm overhead. Raise your hips up if you want to. And keep the right arm strong, please. Like leaning into your own longing, what wants to be expressed. And lower the hips down and press into your right palm. Glide your left knee to your right. And both feet and knees can go back to the twisting position. Now as you press down through your right hand, straighten the arm if you haven't yet. You can lift the hips. You can make a little back bend from here. And then gazing down past your right shoulder, see where your left hand is going to land. Place the right foot, left foot, prasarita, padottanasana. Enjoy a deep breath into the low belly. And then come forward, touch your knees down, reach for your 2 blankets. And please come back to Vajrasana. And take a kneeling position. So we're kneeling on the edge of the blanket. Vajrasana. Vajrasana means the hero's pose. I'm sorry, this is Virasana because we're sitting between the feet. And that means warrior pose, or Virasana means the hero or the warrior. Vajra is thunderbolt. And notice when you come back to center, like what's alive, what is fluid, what is moving, what is undulating, and what remains still. Now while you're here in Virasana, take your 2 blocks, please. Walk them back behind you. Place your hands on your blocks. Lift your hips and take the tailbone forward. There's your quadriceps. For those who want to, you can put the elbows on the blocks. Lengthen the tailbone forward. You should be feeling your quadriceps or your hip flexors. Press the elbows down so the shoulders have support. Try not to arch the back though. It's not really a back bend for the upper back right now. It's a thigh and hip flexor stretch for the legs. Press the tops of your shins down. The knees should stay on the floor. Yeah. Then press down, rise up to kneeling from there. Scoot your feet out. Let's place the 2 blankets. Please lie on your back with the blankets under your knees. And come down to lie really still. From the lower body especially. And place your hands wherever you like, on the belly, on the pelvis, out to the side, palms face up. So when you notice your body now, you may have some energy moving, like rivers in the body, the water element and the second chakra. But you can also ask, what is becoming deeply still? What is returning to that stillness that is already there beneath the thoughts and the activities of daily life? So it seems paradoxical, yet they are collaborating. This vibrancy that we awaken and the inner stillness that we remember. Rest your mind inside that seeming paradox, but without sort of deliberating about it, really simply noticing. Sometimes when we have this inner sea of unmet needs, the movement in us is like restlessness. So let that come to stillness and sense the vibrancy that is not drawn from restlessness nor from the unmet needs. The vibrancy is life's vitality coming through us. Continue dropping in the absence of restlessness, but the fullness of vitality. Let your body and your mind stay again at rest. That vitality finding its way to move through you, unhindered. And gently awaken your awareness of the breath, your physical imprint on the floor or the ground. And without disturbing your mind or your body, please make your personal transition from reclining up to sitting. When you find your way to your seat, please rest your hands. At first, just center them in your lap, one palm in the lap of the other. Now place the fingers, index fingers and thumbs together, hands out over the knees. We'll sing each one of these once through for 5 times, starting with Lam. Lam, 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 lam. Fingers resting one in the lap of the other, thumb tips touching at the second chakra. Wam, 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 wam. Palms together, as David would say, like a fish. The thumbs wrap around. Ram, 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 ram. To the base. Lam, 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 lam. Svadhisthana. Wam, 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 wam. Manipura. Ram, 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 ram. Muladhara. Lam, 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 lam. Svadhisthana. Wam, 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 wam. Muladhara. I'm sorry, Manipuna. Ram, 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 ram. Hands to the lap, one in the lap of the other. When you're ready to, you can gently inhale, raise your hands up and up, coming towards the heart, making an offering to the heart. Come to Anjali Mudra. In the centers of the palms, we place our intention or our offering. And bring that to your vision. And back to your heart. And offering that to your community, the Sangha. And know that when you're offering, you are also receiving. And go in both directions, please. And then bring that back also to your Anjali Mudra.